Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. It's your host Steady Yeti, and today we have an absolute banger deck. We're going to be playing Team Rocket's Mewtwo. So this deck is super cool, super resilient I should say, and it has a lot of quirks about it that makes it really good in the meta right now, per my opinion. So the main attacker here, Team Rocket's Mewtwo, is a 280 HP basic, but he is resistant to fighting. Why that matters is because fighting is everywhere right now, making the baby Okidogi have to do 3 attacks, or at least 2 attacks to knock it out, and then the Mega Lucario have to do 2 attacks, unless they have like 4 premium power pros or some crazy stuff, like they have sometimes. But here we are. Along with that, this is a psychic type that very easily one-shots Mega Lucario. Mega Lucario being one of the top decks right now, this is a pretty solid attacker. As a backup attacker, we have Team Rocket Spidops, which is really good against Mega Absol and Zoroark. He does 30 for each Team Rocket's Pokemon in play. That times 6 is 180. That doubled is 360. So you're easily one-shotting every grass weakness out there. And then the 180 is pretty solid if you can add either a Max Belt or Brave Bangle to the Spidops. Then you're hitting that mid 200s, which hits a lot of the small support Pokemon. It hits the Ogre Ponds, the Lily's Clefairy, all that good stuff. So this list is super straightforward, super simple. I got to thinking about while I was playing it, it is a Lily's Clefairy deck for your Dragapult, possibly Dragonite, and Raging Bolt matchups. The cool thing about this card is you don't have to actually attack with this because you have 2 really good psychic attackers. Team Rocket's Mimikyu is a dream to play against Dragapult because you can copy his Phantom Dive attack and then shoot something on the bench for 60. So that's pretty cool. I've done that a couple times to take a few prize card turns and let the Dragapult get a taste of their own medicine basically for a 60 HP single prize instead of a stage 2 prize. So that's all I got for now. Let's hop into some games and I'll be back for the wrap up. This is LDF's list. He just recently, or actually Sneaker Talk just recently dropped a short because we know unfortunately LDF lost his channel. Hopefully he'll be getting it back soon. I did love watching his content. He made a lot of very good, like little fun rogue decks and stuff of that nature. So I always personally choose to go first in this deck due to the fact we have Team Rocket's Proton. First or second doesn't necessarily matter. They're relatively the same, but the Team Rocket's Proton, I would always try to like to get it set up on turn 1 if it's where we're able to. Alright, so 1 mulligan here, not too bad. And start with the Mimikyu for the free retreat. So this is a good example. We have the Team Rocket's Transceiver that lets you get any Team Rocket supporter, and that'll automatically send me right into the Proton. Alright, I'm going to throw the Mewtwo down and attach this energy to it. I'm going to Transceiver and get the Proton. Play the Proton. And it appears that we're up again. I've seen that card a lot, the Smoochum in Mega Clefable. That doesn't necessarily mean that's what we're playing against, but I'm going to assume it is and just go straight into the 3 Tarantula so we can set up the Spidops here in a turn or 2. And typically I would go ahead and bug catching set, but since I've already attached an energy for turn, it doesn't necessarily just have to be done right now, so I'm going to see what they got. That's a pretty solid turn 1. If I get Badooed, it sucks. Oh, okay, we're playing against Slowking. If I get Badooed, it sucks a little bit, but well, especially now, I don't think that'll be the case. Unfortunately, Team Rocket's Mewtwo does have a pretty big HP when it comes to getting knocked out by this deck. Typically this deck is doing 120 spread or 250 to the active, so we should be able to soak up some hits and really get something churning. I guess we'll go ahead and bug catch him before Lilies. We whiffed. Well, it is what it is. And then I'll go ahead and Lilies. Well, that's not the best either, is it? Alright, so let's see. I was kind of wanting the Articuno too, that way if he did try to Frost, excuse me, it would save these, I think. Pretty sure that's how that works. So we're going to leave a spot open for now and hope he can't just shoot 2 Tarantulas. And then we're just going to go ahead and knock out the Smoochum. Maybe... and no. I was thinking about Team Rocket's the Archer right there, putting it on the top of the deck with Academy at night in case he makes us draw. But he would make us shuffle in and draw anyway, so that won't matter either way. And it's not necessarily a card I think I'll be playing next turn. He might knock out this Mewtwo, but I highly doubt it. Yeah, but this deck is a super cool engine. I really like how it all just kind of works together. Most decks that have, I'm going to say a type, but the Team Rockets is what I'm referencing to. Most decks like that do all work together as a synergy, like the Iono deck I played a few days ago, where you have this Pokemon that wants to discard energy from your bench Pokemon, and then you have the Spidops, if I can get into it, that evolves from, that allows you to recur. So pretty cool little setup there. And he got it already. Well done. Yep. Let's see here. I kind of want to Night Stretcher a Tarantula and then Giovanni the Slowpoke, but it doesn't really seem like we need the Tarantulas, except for the fact that I could have set up a single prize board state and been playing a more fair game. So I think I'm just going to attach the Mimikyu in case for whatever reason we need to do big damage, like for the Meowth, and then Archer. I think I'll go ahead and set down the Lily's Clefairy, since it will be a decent backup attacker. Well, no, I don't really actually have any way to power it up in this deck, because it's just there for the double damage. I think we'll just Archer. So there's the Articuno. So prevent all effects of attacks used by your opponent's Pokemon done to your basic Team Rocket's Pokemon. That is an effective attack, so that will work. So that kind of makes me want to get back a Tarantula now before I Archered, but hopefully this will slow them down enough and we'll go ahead and take a knockout. Oh, I don't have enough Pokemon. That was a big whiff. Golly. I guess I'll just pass. Yeah, that is one bad thing about Team Rocket's Mewtwo, and he would probably be a little cracked if he didn't have that ability, is this Pokemon can't attack unless you have 4 or more Team Rocket's Pokemon in play. Now, it does count himself, so you only have to have 3 more, but yeah, it definitely would have been good there if we could have attacked, and I totally forgot all about that, or I would have sat one down with the Night Stretcher. Slowking definitely got some good upgrades though. Losing Nest Ball but getting Telepathic to be able to get 2 Slowpokes is pretty good. He goes in for the Latias, which is really interesting to me, being another 2-prizer he's sitting down. I assume that makes him feel like he is in command here, which I'm not going to say he's not, due to I have a beefy attacker up front, and I can very easily take down these 2 prize EXs he's working with. Transceiver. Unfortunately, I cannot Giovanni, Proton, and Transceiver. Well, I can Transceiver, but I can't play a 3rd supporter. So I really would like to Ariana and just pray, although that doesn't seem like the best idea. But it's either that or attack with Team Rocket, or search with Proton and hopefully hit 1 more basic, which also doesn't feel good. Let's Transceiver first. Ariana, and let's deck check. So we have a Mewtwo, a Mimikyu. See, we don't have any more Tarantulas, so I guess I'll go ahead and get a Mewtwo and start loading it up so we can attack with it with the Proton. And the Mimikyu too, maybe, to have a free bench spot. We realistically only need 1 Tarantula, because we're only ever going to need to do that extra 60 that's appearing in this game anyways. So throw that down for some ability insurance for say, and then just take the knockout. I'm in a pretty cool board state right here, where it's going to be pretty hard for him to take a multi-prize turn because of the Articuno, and then unless he knocks out a 2-prizer, and then if I can get a back-to-back Giovanni turn, we're going to take a 2-prize knockout each turn, so we should be able to wrap this up in a turn or 2. I'm not sure what this Ampelate does, and I'm pretty sure I'm not going to want to. Oh yeah, that's pretty gross. Golly, that is rough. Mm-hmm. Definitely should have led with the Spidots flying though, and the Tarantulas, and not I was confused, I haven't seen that interaction. And probably not ran in on the Mewtwo just because it is a 2-prize attacker. Oh, yeah, I didn't even think about that Articuno. Man, that card is so cracked. It's so cracked. Yeah, so the Ampelate's ability got negated because it's an effective attack. So they conceded because that was a pretty big setback, and I respect that. Alright, let's hop into another game here. Like I was saying, I probably would have been able to hit the comeback train on that one, but it is one of those things where we might have, we might not. It was a solid game going forwards. Yeah, Team Rocket's Articuno is very solid in this deck after seeing that though. It means it shuts off a lot of things. I'm gonna go first. Well, that's maybe ideal depending on what the opponent is on. Well, it's a different name. I was like, I'm pretty sure my last opponent had those same sleeves. So he's on like a Diggersby style deck, if I'm not mistaken. So I don't think we'll need to put energy on this Mimikyu. I'll just go ahead and get the trio. And I'll probably start it off with the Mewtwo, excuse me, and then start working up to the Spot Ops line. I'm gonna go ahead and throw the Mewtwo in the active just because it is a big HP basic, and it'll be a lot harder for him to take a knockout on than a little baby Pokemon, for example. That way Mewtwo will be able to attack next turn. My hand doesn't just have a whole lot of synergy so far though, so hopefully we can get into something. I will probably just Ariana next turn with this second transceiver, but we'll see. I'm not entirely sure what the Diggersby does, so there'll definitely be something I get to check out. Oh, there it is. So I guess we can read it now. Does 30 damage to each of your bench Pokemon. Okay, so he's hitting for 140 for one, and then he's going to use Monkey Dory to do more. Okay, that's good, I guess. Well, there is a Team Rocket Spot Ops if I've ever seen one, so I'm going to go ahead and throw that boy down. And I kind of want to... I think Articuno's effective attacks, I've forgotten already. So, while we're in here, this will tell us all effective attacks used by your opponent's opponent. So that won't stop Monkey Dory, and I don't think we have anything to shut that off, because, well, we don't really have to. So I'm just going to go ahead and get a Ariana here and draw some cards. Hopefully getting the grass energy. We did not hit grass energy, but that is okay, because right now we don't necessarily need it. Go ahead and throw that on that. This does it to EXs. Yeah, that doesn't necessarily matter right now. So let's just go ahead and take out this Bunnelby. You never know what you're going to see on the ladder, I'll say that. Especially low 1500s. We took a hit with a couple of the last few videos y'all seen me make. Having some... just playing some more fun style decks and was taking some losses, but... hey, we have about, I think it said 16 days left, or might be 6 days, so we got a little time to turn back up the ladder a little bit. So he can knock out this Mimikyu next turn, which makes me a little uncomfortable, but he is going to have a hard time knocking out this Team Rocket's Mewtwo since he did not set up a backup Bunnelby to go into Diggersby. So with that, I think we're going to now Proton and get the Mewtwo. I would like to have some more Tarantulas for the Team Rocket stuff. Put some in your hand. I guess I can get all three just to shave on the deck. And then, since it's really the only option right now, I guess we'll set up the Mewtwo. I would really like to get some energy on the Spidops and start doing the single prize thing, but you gotta do what the deck gives you, I guess. I'll go ahead and throw down the Articuno. He'll probably never get enough damage on that. No, I'm not going to discard. There's the energy for the Spidops. Now it is 2 prizes cards taken to none. So, excuse me. So, if it is a case where he's having to slowly knock out these Mewtwo's, then I can just slowly farm the prize cards. And that means if he knocks out the Mewtwo this turn, that we're tied up. And it's a pretty straightforward setup here. So, I'd say we're in a decent spot. I was wanting to play a variant of this deck that had the Team Rocket's Houndoom. For 2 energy, it did 130, which it's a fire type, and then you could discard, or you do discard energy from it. So that would one-shot all of your grass stuff, except for Arboliva, but who cares about Arboliva anyways. So I'm not an Arboliver, I'll say that. But it's not really needed because the Team Rocket's Mewtwo pretty much does the same thing. And you don't mind being a 2 prize trade deck against the grass deck because that's pretty much all they are as well. Well, he is slow rolling this Diggersby, and while he's doing that, I think I'm going to... Yeah, so he's doing the play I thought he was going to do. And while he's doing that, I think I'm going to set up second Mimikyu. Actually, I have a better idea. We're going to do instead. Because this card is absolutely broken, wait for this. I played this deck a little bit whenever G block was still in, but unfortunately it was just a little too slow. Decks like Goldango, it just got ate up by, because even though you can do enough damage to knock out a Goldango relatively easy, you want to be able to play single prize as much as possible, and in certain matchups or certain hands depending, it just doesn't always happen, and this is one of those cases. Now, if I don't knock out this Solrock, he's going to knock out this Mewtwo next turn. If I knock out a Munkidori, he can't spread as much damage with his Diggersby on the following turn, which is kind of sounding good for both, but I don't know. I do have 2 Giovannis and a backup Mewtwo, so I think that's what we're going to do. And I'll have an energy on the Spidops if it's where. Go ahead and get a Munkidori. And then retreat into. And there's probably no way I get another energy right now, right? Probably not. So we'll go ahead and give him the 2 browser. Retreat into Mewtwo, charging up. Throw an energy down, and then I kind of want to throw the Mimikyu down, even though it's just going to get rolled. If he can set up another Munkidori, they're just going to take it out. So I think that's a bad idea, because it'll just be a free prize card, and possibly even more. They might be able to take a 3 prize card turn, so let's not do that. Well, we got 1 Munkidori down, so if he wants to do 60 per turn, he's going to have to set up another. And if he doesn't set up another right now, I'll probably just run into this Tarantula, hoping to get a Spidops the turn after. And then we'll probably just take it from there with the spot ops if we can get another energy, because it'll be doing enough to one-shot all of his stuff, and we'll be like a little single prize matchup. Yeah, this deck used to be super sweet though with G-Block in. You could play like Earthen Vessel, Ultra Ball, and the energy churn was a lot smoother and a lot faster when it came to the spot ops. It is still good and solid, but not as quick as it was. Unfortunately, Energy Search just isn't good enough to cut it. Alright, opponent is churning. I wonder what they got going on. Alright, Bloodmoon Ursaluna. Move that there. Yeah, I'll admit that Blood Moon is kind of scary. And he did get second Monkey Dory set up, so we definitely have to tiptoe around what we're going to be doing for sure. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's 150. So if it's where we can get an energy off this bug catching set, then we can start attacking with the spot ops, and I'll still be able to Giovanni in that same turn. So let's burn through some transceivers to thin the deck a little bit. Get an archer. And I guess the last Giovanni, and then we will bug catch and hoping to hit an energy. We did, we hit 2. Okay, so we only need 1, but I'll go ahead and grab the second. Let's go ahead and throw that here. And now I can Giovanni his Blood Moon. It is weakness to grass too, so we're cooking a little too hard there. Giovanni is Blood Moon, throw up the spot ops, and take a knockout on that. And I went ahead and grabbed second grass energy in case we just have to attack with this Mewtwo, or if it's where we need to set up the second spot ops, we can do that next turn with the energy in hand and then the charging up ability, which it does look like that's what we're going to have to do, because Diggersby does 140, so it'll be able to one-shot the spot ops. I will say though, if he doesn't set up second Benelby right here, I feel like I'll be in a pretty good spot. I'll be able to follow up with another Team Rockets attack from the spot ops and possibly a Mewtwo attack after if need be. Triple Monkey Dory, he is going in. What's really interesting to me about this deck is it just has to lose to Dragapult, right? Or like decks of that sort. So we have to be very careful here, because we only have 4, which means we're only doing 120, which is not quite enough to knock out the Diggersby. If we put down some baby Pokemon, then they're going to get knocked out by the Monkey Dories next turn. I could always pull up the Team Rocket's Mewtwo. Because he can attack, right? Yeah, 4. And just kind of stall a little bit. Although I really want to Archer. I can't Archer and Spidops. I might have been able to, but I can't now because I put that energy there. So now we pretty much have to Giovanni, which was a definite misplay. Yikes. Probably throwing here, but we'll see. Go ahead and bring up a monkey. Then we will go ahead and charging up. I think there's 2 energy, right? Oh, actually, well, yeah, there's 3 because of this. We'll go ahead and put one here too. Well, here's to the end game. I guess we'll see what happens. Let's go ahead and hit done. No reason to discard. So if you can't knock out any of my, of course, I mean, if he has a boss, I just lose anyways. Like, I hate game playing around all this stuff and they just have boss win anyways. But if he doesn't have a boss and they can't knock out my Mewtwo, I'm pretty sure I have it here, because it's going to be hard for them to put upwards of 130 damage on one of my bench for a knockout, plus knock out my Mewtwo. So we are looking alright. That was an interesting play. I assume they have energy in hand is the only reason they're doing that. But at the current standard, this Mewtwo is only going to be at 260 at the most, so unless he can find 3rd, or it'd be 4th Monkey Dory, but 2 have already been knocked out, and he's already used 2 Night Stretcher, so he needs a Night Stretcher and a Dark Energy. Plus a counter gain? Yeah. I mean, it definitely takes a lot of cards, but he could get it. Actually, yeah. So, he could counter gain this. He could Night Stretcher a Monkey Dory and attach a Dark to it. But he attached here, so now he won't be able to do that. He was close. Well, he wasn't close, but he definitely could have gotten there, and that would have been crazy. He has the boss anyways, like I said. I'll throw him the thumbs. Okay, now he's big manning, whatever. Go ahead and hop into 6 days left. Not 16 like I was thinking, but let's go ahead and hop into one more game. I did reach 1600 on the ladder this time, so that is a new high, but I was hoping to hit 1700. Yeah, there was a couple chain of events there on that last game where could have went better, but I'm not going to complain. Hey, maybe it's a Team Rocket's mirror. That'd be cool to finish it off. Oh, well, it's a Honchkrow mirror, so whatever. Give that whatever, however you feel. I guess we're just going to go on the... I don't know if you've noticed, but I have Proton turn 1 every turn, so I guess we're just gonna do the whole single prize route due to not wanting to get absolutely rolled. He's not going to knock me out next turn, but I can do this energy and then charging up the basic. I can't charging up that. Yes, you play against Honchkrow, which is definitely a pretty good meta contender. I would recommend, that's cool that that synergizes with me. I would recommend not putting the Mewtwo in play because it's weakness to Dark. Unless you can just load it up in one turn and take a final hit. I understand that, but other than that, I would leave it in the hand or the discard pile. Or in the deck, but yeah, I'd just try to single prize it. Your spot ups do more than enough damage to where you can start taking knockouts. So I'm just gonna go in and Ultra Ball. I'll Ultra Ball with the Mewtwo and I guess the Max spell because doesn't. I think it does it to EX. Yeah, it does it to EXs, so we'll never need that. Get a spot ups. Play the spot ups. Throw down the Ariana. Get second spot ups. Unfortunately, we did not get hit like a Mimikyu or something. We're still doing enough damage, but if he evolves, we'll need some more. So maybe this factory will get us there. I got us to Articuno. That's better than nothing, I guess. And we're just going to go ahead and take knockout and start putting pressure on. Another spot up. So the deck is definitely churning in my favor very well, and I'm excited for that. The two Night Stretchers to be able to pick up basics to do more damage with the followed up spot ups attacks every single turn. Looks like we're in a pretty good spot. I will admit though, it is kind of insane how consistent the Team Rocket's Honchkrow deck is. Somebody compared it, I think it was Little Dark Fury, compared it to Goldango earlier. And honestly that makes so much sense, because they do a lot of drawing, a lot of searching, and then a lot of big damage at the end of their turn. And this is a single prize deck, and it's like, I'm not going to say easily, but it could definitely like one-shot megas. They do typically run like a 20 supporter count. So unfortunately the hope of them being able to run out is not on our side, but we go ahead and hit them with the charging up. And we're only doing 120 right now, which is not enough. So we will Stretcher Tarantula. And then evolve into spot ups to get that second one, or now third one about to get going. And then we're going to hit them with the Archer, hoping that that slows them down a little bit and we can keep advantage here. And then we'll be able to factory. So we have some stuff. It's cool drawing grass energy because of the charging up ability. That means we'll be able to attack every turn. So let's just go ahead and take the knockout. And as long as I can keep the same engine churning, we should win in the prize trade. He takes a knockout every turn, I take a knockout every turn. Luckily with his deck though, he typically needs a decent amount of cards in hand. It is very doable with his deck to catch up after getting Archer unfair stamped. Ask me how I know. But if we can throw him off for a turn or two and we can consistently keep taking knockouts, they whiff the energy or they whiff the supporters, then it's definitely looking solid in our favor. But this is kind of the example of what I was talking about by the single prize playstyle, where you leave the Mewtwo's in the deck, you don't worry about those, and you just attack with the spot ups. Because there's All of the single prize decks you can easily one shot with the spot ups, except for Okidogi. That's a little more complicated, but you can use Clefairy also and charge it up pretty easily sometimes. Not in this list because we don't have any psychic energy, but normally you can. He is going all in. I do like the Porygon in here as the backup attacker. Most lists play 20 supporters, so let's say you had 18 of those, this deck would do 360. That's pretty bonkers. And he was able to hit the energy, so he is churning away just as fast as we are. But we do have the consistent backup attack after attack, so. I love the little sound it makes whenever you promote a Team Rocket's Pokemon. Kind of gives me like a Halloween vibe. Go ahead and charging up. Let's see here. As much as... So all we have is Mimikyus. All we have is Mimikyus and another Articuno. Some of that might, other than Mewtwo, some of that might be prized though. I guess realistically we could get a Mewtwo as a bench sitter. So I kind of want an Archer here. Let's see what's in the deck. So we have one Mimikyu, one Articuno. Yeah, I kind of want an Archer here. I mean, I'll be drawing 7 cards. Maybe I'll be able to get one or an Ultra Ball or a Night Stretcher. We have 3 Ultra Ball. See, I'm going to Archer here to try to throw him off game plan. Hopefully it doesn't backfire and I'm able to get at least one more Team Rockets. Well, that's not that. There we go. Okay, that was close. Go ahead and attack. Transceiver. This card is so broken in this deck. Just to go get any supporter. It's like if Pokegear was on steroids. So now he's going to use the Porygon, because I assume he has more than enough. 4, 5, 6, 9. So that's 180. He's going to use the Porygon to go in. And I just realized my hand doesn't have a Tarantula in it. I will be able to Petrol for an Ultra Ball though, so we're not in just too bad a shape, but definitely need to pay more attention on that. I don't think I could have evolved. I should have been able to evolve last turn. I thought I had one in my hand. It's 3 in the discard pile. I could have swore I seen 4th one in deck. I guess we're about to find out. Yeah, 4th one's in deck. Okay. Let's just get Ariana. It doesn't really matter. We'll run a Petrol. For an Ultra Ball. Giovanni. Yeah, that doesn't really matter. I guess we'll throw away 2 Ariana and leave the Giovanni just in case. Well, the Proton doesn't really matter over either of those, so let's do that. Get the last spot ops. Do we have a Night Stretcher left? We do have a Night Stretcher left, so hopefully that can get us into enough to take knockouts. We might have to start working on a Mewtwo. Go ahead and throw a grass down. Charging up. Draw 2 with the factory. Tree. I got distracted. My wife brought me Pokemon cards. Another Mimikyu, that's awesome. We are in definitely a sticky spot here though. It's not... Although he doesn't have any more Pokemon, so we can grind through a few attacks to knock him out. That would work too, but it is not looking too good for the home team. So he did get the Porygon. If he doesn't get the knockout here, we can Giovanni the Porygon for another prize card, and that would set us up enough to where if we had to stall, we could. Well, one could only hope, and it sure wasn't me. Yeah, at this point I am just about lost for... What, lost for words, they say. Since everything's a single price, go ahead and throw it all down to get it out of the way. Go ahead and eat up the bug catching, even though it's not going to get anything but an energy. I guess we can go ahead and attach the energy here. So we'll be able to Ariana for 4, plus 2 off the factory. I was gonna say hopefully hitting a night stretcher, but we attach for turn here. Let's see. I'm honestly not even sure if there is a Mewtwo left in the deck. Well, let's factory and see what happens. I guess we can see what Ultra Ball will get us. Clefairy, that's not going to do much, if anything. We are in a pickle for sure. So that means my other Mewtwo is priced. And he's probably going to take this Tarantula right here. So getting a knockout is going to be very complicated. Which I didn't really want to run it on the Mewtwo anyway, since he only has 2 prize cards left. He'd probably be able to take it out, but... Definitely was hoping to get into that night stretcher right there. I was just about to talk, well, if he whiffs, but as you can tell, he never does. This deck's so consistent. It's probably like $11 to order the whole deck, and it's something that you could very easily get on cool stuff, because it's all like commons. So now we're pretty much at a loss here, but I'm just going to play it out just to see what may... Oh, well, hey, Night Stretcher, I needed you last turn. Just to see possibly what we could do here. So we're only doing 120. So realistically, the best route we have is Night Stretcher, the Tarantula, or the Spidops into... I guess we could have Night Stretchered the Mewtwo but he also plays Giovanni's. We should have checked to see how many. 3. So we could have Night Stretchered the Mewtwo and then loaded energy on it and hopefully got another energy and took knockouts, but we're pretty much at a loss either way. Charging up. This is where I'm kind of torn because there's no way I can do enough to knock out this Honchkrow. Yeah, because pretty much all my Pokemon are gone, except for the 1 Mewtwo and 2 Night Stretchers gone, which is all I play. There's no way to get more Pokemon on the bench, so we pretty much just have to Giovanni the Porygon, and then just hope for whatever reason he doesn't have it next turn. Which, I mean, he's always going to have it. Let's go ahead and draw 2. Let's just see. 3, 3, 3, 3, 4. So he's got at least one of each of these left. So in his 15 cards plus his 1 prize. So I mean, I'm sure he's got it, but hello, old friend. I was going to say, even if he doesn't, if he has energy. Playing the Ariana there is crazy, but I assume he's searching for energy because he didn't have enough supporters in his hand, but now he does. Well, that's that. It was a good game overall. I feel like I could have possibly churned a little better, but it was consistent enough. But yeah, that is... Let's see if we can get the list pulled up here. Yeah, there we go. So that's Team Rocket's Mewtwo. The deck was super fun. It's super straightforward. It definitely has a good chance in the meta now with the big grass attacker and the big psychic attacker. The Mimikyu is a really good tech card with the Lily's Clefairy against Dragapult. Team Rocket's Articuno is a really good card against all the spread damage decks and the ability damage, as we've seen in the first game. But yeah, that's the deck, that's the list. I do have to give props to Little Dark Fury. It is his list. I think it's very smooth. I think we just possibly needed to draw a little better, but that's how it goes. It is a game. I'll catch y'all on the next one.